Have you ever spent so much time thinking about something that you ended up doing nothing at all? You tell yourself you're being careful. You tell yourself you're planning. You tell yourself you're waiting for the right moment. But days pass, weeks pass, sometimes even years pass, and nothing changes. That's the dangerous thing about overthinking. It doesn't look like an enemy. It looks like intelligence. It feels productive. It feels responsible. But most of the time, it's just fear wearing a smart disguise. Think about it. How many opportunities have people missed because they kept waiting for certainty? The perfect plan, the perfect timing, the perfect conditions, the perfect version of themselves. Here's the truth nobody likes to hear. Perfect doesn't exist, and while you're busy planning every possible outcome, someone else is already taking action. They're making mistakes, learning lessons, improving, moving forward, and eventually succeeding. Not because they're smarter, not because they're luckier, but because they started. Overthinkers often believe they need more information, more preparation, more confidence. But confidence rarely comes before action. Confidence comes from action. Imagine someone standing at the edge of a swimming pool. They spend hours reading about swimming, watching videos, studying techniques, researching the perfect way to enter the water. Meanwhile, another person simply jumps in. Sure, they splash around. Maybe they look awkward. Maybe they make mistakes. But guess what? At the end of the day, the second person actually learned how to swim. The first person learned how to think about swimming. Life works the same way. Success rewards movement, not endless preparation. And here's something funny. Overthinkers often predict problems that never happen. You send a message, then spend 30 minutes wondering if it sounded weird. You post something online, then imagine the entire internet judging you. You make one small mistake, and suddenly your brain starts acting like you've accidentally destroyed civilization. Meanwhile, everyone else is busy thinking about their own problems. Most people aren't analyzing your every move. They're too busy overthinking their own lives. Crazy, right? The biggest cost of overthinking isn't stress. It's lost opportunities. The business you never started, the skill you never learned, the conversation you never had, the dream you never chased. Not because you couldn't, because you kept waiting. Waiting feels safe. Action feels risky. But here's the secret. Waiting has risks too. People talk about the risk of failure. Very few people talk about the risk of never trying. Imagine looking back years from now and realizing you could have done so much more if you had simply taken the first step. That's a painful thought. The truth is, action creates clarity. Thinking creates possibilities. But action reveals reality. You don't figure out life by sitting still. You figure it out by moving. One step, one decision, one attempt at a time. And no, that doesn't mean acting recklessly. It doesn't mean ignoring consequences. It means refusing to become trapped inside your own mind. Because your brain is an amazing tool, but it's a terrible prison. Some people spend their entire lives arguing with themselves. What if I fail? What if they laugh? What if it doesn't work? But what if it does? What if that opportunity changes your life? What if that risk opens a door you never expected? What if success is sitting on the other side of the action you're avoiding? You'll never know if you don't move. And that's why successful people aren't fearless. They're not walking around with magical confidence. They're scared too. They just refuse to let fear make their decisions. They act despite uncertainty. They move despite doubt. And that's what separates dreamers from achievers. So the next time you catch yourself trapped in endless thoughts, ask yourself one simple question. Am I solving the problem or just thinking about it? Because there comes a point where more thinking won't help. Only action will. Take the first step. Send the message. Start the project. Learn the skill. Make the call. Take the chance. It doesn't have to be perfect. It just has to begin. Because overthinking kills success. But action creates it. And sometimes, the smallest step forward is worth more than 1,000 perfect plans.